Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI and Fun.com. I am your host Tom Downey, back with some more Cowboys rumors and a couple of news items as well. We'll start things off with those news items. Kris Richard confirms he is staying with the Dallas Cowboys, made that announcement today at the Pro Bowl. This is not a surprise if you've been paying attention, right? We told you guys if Kris Richard wasn't getting a head coaching offer, maybe even if he was sticking with the Dallas Cowboys. Now as for what to expect going forward, expect a title promotion, perhaps the official defensive coordinator title for Kris Richard, and a nice pay raise as well. On the more negative side, I guess, but it's really not that bad of news, is Charlton. He is undergoing surgery on Thursday for a minor labrum issue, and I emphasize the minor part. He's not going to miss anything in the offseason. Now, he did miss some time this year with that shoulder issue. Maybe that's why he only had one sack this year. But there's nothing to panic about here with Charlton. He is going to be just fine going forward. Nothing to worry about here for Taco. He's going to be okay. Now, folks, today's show is brought to you by Fun.com. They make some great Cowboys gifts, and I'm happy to announce our winners of our Fun.com giveaway. Congratulations to Gavin Lilly and Freddie Hernandez. You guys won the Cowboys six-pack cooler and pint glasses, so congratulations. DM us on Twitter at ChatSports or me at WhatGoingDowney, and we'll get you guys your prize. And oh, by the way, if you didn't win, still go check out Fun.com. They've got all kinds of great gifts. I'm talking Cowboys barware sets, Cowboys grilling gear. Almost anything you could want for your Cowboys man cave is on Fun.com. So go check them out and use ChatSports.com / Cowboys gifts. /fun, and that'll get you guys a 15% bonus with that link. So go check them out. Some great Cowboys gifts up there. Back now to our Cowboys rumors. Is Cole Beasley not used well? Welcome to the Cole Beasley drama portion of today's show. And I actually agree with Cole on this one. 4 stars here. Now, look, it's not like I'm expecting him to get 100 targets a season, but we've seen Cole Beasley have success. And Beasley says that utilization is more important than money, and this is part of his Twitter drama. I think I'll just use that as the overarching term here. Now look, the Cowboys have not used Cole Beasley as well as they could have, and he emphasizes in particular the way he's been used and that inconsistent usage. Here's the thing. Cole Beasley is right with his comments, and his comments aren't that different than Dez Bryant's or Ryan Switzer's, heck, even Alan Hearns and Amari Cooper's kind of accidental shade throwing towards Scott Linehan. Linehan got fired, by the way. So the Cowboys agree then, right? They agree the offense isn't quite where it needs to be. Here's the overarching theme of Beasley's concerns. Look at the way his targets break down. Week 5, he gets 3. Then he gets to be a legit number 1 guy in Week 6. But then it drops off from 11 to 8 to 4 to 5. Back up to 7 in Week 11. And then again, he's not a factor in the offense. 3 targets, 4 targets, 7 targets. Why is he having 3 to 4 targets in 3 games? And the Cowboys won all those games. But that's not utilizing Cole Beasley properly. Use him on third down. Use him on horizontal routes. He gets open a ton. So for me, the answer is why, yes. He is underutilized, even though I think you can make an argument that a lot of the Cowboys receivers are because they just don't throw it a lot. That's kind of the focus of the offense is more run-heavy than passing-heavy. Now, the other part of Cole Beasley's Twitter drama was that he says the front office determines the roles and they push who they want. I'll give this one 2 stars. Cole Beasley is right, but he's not right in the way I think everyone took it. And I think when Beasley first sent that out, everyone thought, oh, this is Cole Beasley saying that Jerry Jones and other people and Stephen Jones and Will McClay, they're pushing the front office and see, Jason Garrett's just a puppet for Jerry Jones. That's not what Cole Beasley meant, though. He meant, and here's the initial tweet from Cole Beasley about how the front office pushes players. Cole Beasley meant that the Cowboys want their high investment guys to get more targets. And that will bring up that next week there when he clarified it. And Cole Beasley's right, and every team does this. Heck, yeah, you guys have seen Moneyball, right? The front office tends to get the guys that they want involved there in general. Now, of course the Cowboys want Amari Cooper involved, and their 3rd-round pick, Michael Gallup, and Zeke Elliott. So, of course, those guys are more heavily pushed by the front office because they're the guys the team invested in. And if the Cowboys were to re-sign Cole Beasley, then Beasley would probably be pushed a little bit more by the front office. This is not a meddling thing. This is a use that the talented players that we paid for and use draft capital on, use those guys more so. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. They are the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you 60 for free. Put down 100, and they're going to give you 120. But if you use Bitcoin, they'll give you a 150% deposit bonus. So that's an extra $30 if you put down $100 with BetDSI. And if you don't quite feel comfortable with Bitcoin, that's okay. We understand. DM us on Twitter @ChatSports, and we'll help you guys out. This is the best deal out there when it comes to sports betting. Then to recap our Cole Beasley section here, because, well, this is what it's all building towards, right? Is Cole Beasley going to leave the Cowboys? It hasn't changed for me. I still think it's 3 stars, and although Cole Beasley might have put, I guess, the dirty laundry, for lack of a better phrase, out in public, this is all things that Beasley said before, at least internally, and this is all things that have been known about Cole Beasley. We know that Cole Beasley at his age, probably looking at his last big contract. That's just where we sit. Now, like all wide receivers, and for good reason, Beasley wants to be involved in the offense. So he wants a team that will get him the ball frequently and will pay him plenty. The chances, and possibly for both outcomes, that might not be the Dallas Cowboys. In the end, I lean more towards Cole Beasley finding more money and maybe more targets, especially on a consistent basis, with a new NFL team. So what should the Cowboys do with Cole Beasley? Type R for resign, type L for let leave. I explain what I think the Cowboys will end up doing. DM me on Twitter @WhatGoingDowney if you want me to explain what I think the Cowboys should do and how much I think they should offer Cole Beasley. Let's talk coaching staff now. Will there be an internal hire for offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys? It's not set in stone yet, but I'm still going to give it 4 stars. I'll round up from 3.75 or 3.8, whatever it actually is right now. I fully expect an internal hire for the Dallas Cowboys. They had some interesting guys like James Coley, but I just don't think it's going to work out there in the end because the Cowboys' offensive scheme and structure this season is going to be vastly different from last year, where it was, for the most part, Linehan's decision. He ran the offense. He made all the game plans. He was the lead dog. That's going to change this year. Regardless of who ends up calling the plays, if it's Jason Garrett or Kellen Moore or Doug Nussmeier, there's going to be a more collaborative effort from the Cowboys in terms of the way they set up their week-to-week game plan. Now, for the OC job, I think Kellen Moore's your front runner, then Doug Nussmeier. Even if one of those guys doesn't get the OC, they could still end up calling the plays, so too could Jason Garrett. So I think in reality, your input's going to flow something like this. Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier at the top. And oh, by the way, Dak Prescott, John Kitna, they are going to get plenty of influence, especially Dak this year. The Cowboys wanted to bring in Kitna because they liked him a lot, wanted to hire him last year, but I don't think that's really what Scott Linehan wanted, so that's part of the reasoning there. In the end, though, you'll see some adjustments of the roles for several of those guys. So how confident are you in the Cowboys' offensive coaching staff? Grade on a scale of 1 to 10. Also, DM me on Twitter @WhatGoingDowney. My DMs are open, so you don't have to follow me, but I would be kind of hurt if you guys don't follow me, and yet you DM me. But I'll answer your questions there. Let's talk offseason contracts then. DeMarcus Lawrence, is he going to get an extension? I feel pretty good about this one. I am giving this one 3 stars, and it's not set in stone obviously yet, and I think if in terms of being on the roster next year, it's 4 because they'll just franchise tag him. But the Cowboys have been clear, as has Stephen Jones, that they are going to make DeMarcus Lawrence their top priority. And for good reason. He's the NFL's best available free agent this season. And DeMarcus Lawrence thinks he'll be back next year. He says, I don't feel like they're going to make a big change by letting me go or releasing me. And in terms of the way the contract expectations should start for you guys, the fans, start it at $20 million a year. Remember, Olivier Vernon, same agent as DeMarcus Lawrence, got $17 million a couple of years ago. The cap has since gone up. Now, $20 million a year is about in the same range. And DeMarcus Lawrence the past 2 years has been one of the NFL's best pass rushers. Here are the sack leaders since 2017. Chandler Jones, Ryan Kerrigan, Calais Campbell, DeMarcus Lawrence, Cam Jordan. Those are your top 5 guys. Now, sacks can be a bit fluky. So what about pressures? Where do pressures break down? Makes maybe more sense at the top. Khalil Mack, Von Miller, those are generally viewed as the top 2 edge rushers. After that, it's DeMarcus Lawrence at number 3. Don't let the only 10.5 sacks fool you. DeMarcus Lawrence is an elite edge rusher, and he's going to get paid like one because if he hits the open market, he's gone. Because a team like the Jets or the Niners will just throw gobs of money at DeMarcus Lawrence. Speaking of contracts, how about one for Dak Prescott? What about $25 million per year for Dak? I'm only going to give this one 2 stars, and if you don't like Dak, you're you're not going to like why it's only 2 stars. Because $25 million, which is what Spotrac projected for Dak Prescott, I think that's the floor. I think that is the floor for Dak Prescott in terms of a long-term extension. I'm not arguing about whether he should get it, or if he's deserving of it. I'm arguing about what he will get. The market dictates this. And the market dictates that an above-average quarterback like Dak Prescott, who is young, is going to get a massive, massive contract. That is what Dak Prescott is going to get. Now, one thing I want you guys to do in particular, don't just focus on the pure money side of it. Yeah, I know 25's a lot. That's what Derek Carr got. But I also want everyone to focus in on the percentage of the cap. That's what Dak Prescott and his agent are going to do. So we'll break down some of these highest paid quarterbacks here. First, from just the raw number side, then we'll move on into the cap percentage. So Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, they're making $30 million a year. I don't think you're going to see Dak become the highest paid NFL quarterback. Kirk Cousins got 28. I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Kirk Cousins, right? Or am I just a crazy person? Jimmy G, Matt Stafford. Now, what I want you guys to focus in on is the percentage of the cap. That is how contracts are dictated because the salary cap goes up each year. That's why the next quarterback, the next player, becomes the highest paid guy. Aaron's at like almost 19, so don't worry about him. Matt Ryan's at 17, Stafford's at 16.5, Derek Carr's at 16, which was 25 at the time. Now it's 16% of the cap. And as of now, a $25 million deal would be a little bit around 13.5% of the contract. So focus more on the $28 million per year for Dak Prescott. That's going to be more in line with some of those other quarterbacks. So I ask you, how much is Dak Prescott worth per year? Let me know in the comments section. I've warned you guys, he's going to make a lot of money this offseason. And folks, if you haven't already subscribed to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report, we'll have news, rumors, NFL draft coverage, free agency coverage, fan-led content, and by the way, some very interesting contract projections like one for Dak Prescott. So subscribe to be notified once that one is up. One last note here, kind of on the news side. The Cowboys Senior Bowl visits, 5 that we know of. Shout out my boy Connor Livesay of Blogging the Boys who kind of grabbed these for me. Bruce Anderson, Penny Hart, a dynamic slot receiver, Jacoby Myers, a bigger slot receiver, and 2 defensive linemen, DeMarcus Christmas and Greg Gaines. That those guys are the targets for the Cowboys should not be much of a surprise. They're rather logical targets for the Cowboys. They need some receiver help if they lose Cole Beasley, and defensive tackle is rather high up on their list of needs. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.